Since you clicked on this video, it's quite obvious you have impeccable taste, so kudos to you. But this is one of the easiest and tastiest loaded nacho recipes that's 100% vegetarian and dairy-free. Now, for the base of our dish, I'm using the meatless grounds by Corn. This has a different fat content than your standard ground beef, but trust me, throughout this recipe we're going to make up for that. Now, the meatless grounds come in new packaging, so you don't need to like defrost them or thaw them out, but I'm starting off with a bit of vegetable broth to add flavor, but we also want to create a very smooth and consistent texture. And so I'm going to add the meatless ground, work them in with the vegetable broth. And you guys know I don't sacrifice flavor. We're not going to skimp over here, so I'm using garlic powder, my Grill Mates roasted garlic seasoning, along with black garlic. You can pick this up from Trader Joe's. It is so good. And I also like to do a little bit of onion salt, some red crushed pepper, and feel free to use any other seasonings of your choice to make it your own. Now, as a vegetarian, I learned very early on I do not like black beans, so these light red kidney beans are perfect for the dish. I love the smoky flavor. Again, use any bean of your choice, but this is my go-to. And I'm working this into the pan. We're on a low medium heat. I'm just gonna dash a bit of hot sauce and cayenne pepper because I like a little bit of a kick. I'm going with a bit more vegetable broth. Again, I'm monitoring the texture and the consistency. I don't want it to dry out. And I think that adding a bit of salsa, this one has corn. I know some people are like so against corn. I still use this. I am too, but you know what? For the sake of this recipe, we're gonna make it work. But I'm just adding it in because I love combining all of these flavors, different textures, especially for these loaded nachos. And what would it be without bell peppers, red onions, and of course, I am the garlic queen. So go crazy with your garlic. Use as much as you need to give you the flavor profile that you envision. I'm stirring all of this together, keeping a lower heat because I do want this to simmer for some time. I really want these flavors to just blend into each other seamlessly. And in the meantime, we're gonna work on our guacamole. You guys already know how this goes. I'm pretty standard. You know, I use all of the key ingredients. Again, you can make it your own. You can make it your own by adding things like hot sauce. You can add peppers, jalapeno peppers, poblano peppers, anything that tickles your fancy. This is honestly up to you, and the more variety, the more fun you have. Now, because I'm making this while the mixture is still cooking, I am going to add a bit of parchment paper or waxed paper on top. I'm going to do this because I want it to go in the refrigerator, but I don't want it to brown. So again, this is a great tip. I'm always on the hunt for the perfect tortilla chips, and these chips are perfect. They're restaurant style, they are thick. I compared the sodium content. I felt most comfortable using these, but again, the texture is perfect on these. Are great, crisp, and it's a thicker chip. Now onto the cheese sauce. I'm using this cultured vegan butter, which is honestly one of the best vegan butters out there. All of the others don't compare, so I'm gonna melt this down, add a little bit more of the vegetable broth, and then we're gonna go in with some dairy-free milk. I do not recommend this specific milk, but I wanted to show you so you know not to use it. My recommendation is the Ripple dairy-free plant-based milk in the original version. It is the best because it doesn't have any sugar content. And so I'm going in with the just like cheddar shreds, a little bit of hot sauce for a kick. Season it as you would. Monitor your sodium here. I added black pepper. I also wanted to intensify the color, make it a little bit more rich and vibrant. And so as it starts to cook down and reduce, I'm like, how can we kick this up a notch and make it look like a cheese sauce? So I went in with some turmeric, ground turmeric, and a little bit more of the cayenne pepper. And when I tell you this transformed the color and the consistency was just coming together, this is what it's all about. You got to be willing to experiment. And here I go again, adding just a little bit more of the salsa because, you know, I want that salsa con queso kind of vibe. Like, I like that. Okay, so I'm having fun here. There are no rules. You can load it up however you so choose. Just make sure you're having fun with it. For the tortilla chips, I took some parchment paper and just laid them on top. I didn't want to do layers of them because again, I don't want too much of this because this doesn't, you know, stay well overnight. So again, I'm thinking about how much I can eat within one sitting, especially if you have just one other person. It's not feasible, sis. It doesn't make sense. If you didn't know, I'm definitely a little greedy, so I went in with a little bit more of the Just Like Cheddar shreds, and we're going in with our sort of meatless ground mixture with the beans. Load it up as much as you'd like, but again, the more that you add, it can become a little bit soggy. I added some of the fresh red onion and bell pepper on top, along with some cilantro. And then I wanted to go in with the cheese sauce. Again, because this has a bit more of a moisture content, the more that you add, it can make it a little bit more soggy, so be mindful. But if you don't care, if you're anything like me, you're gonna eat it anyway. That's all that matters. So again, adding the garnish, the cilantro, some of the fresh tomatoes as well. And let me just tell you something. As a vegetarian, this dish is way too easy. It tastes just like the real thing. The next time you want to try something different, you want to dabble into the meatless realm, girl, this is the recipe for you. Now I'm going to be putting this into the oven, and the important thing is to watch it, especially based on how you make it. So again, it shouldn't take too long, but I think a good temperature is anywhere between like 375, 400. But again, if you like a little bit more of a crunch, you got it. But this came out perfect. Everything is melted. It just blended seamlessly. It looks so good. I hope you guys make this. If you do, definitely let me know. You guys know the guacamole on the side is the perfect touch. Again, if you are thinking about going vegetarian, or you want to do more plant-based, or just monitor your dairy intake, which is so good just for the body in general, this is a great recipe. So be sure to subscribe, turn your post notifications on, share this with your homeboys and your homegirls. Meet me in the comment section and let me know what you would add to this, or what you're gonna do when you make it, because I know you're gonna love it. And I hope I see you in the next one.